Good morning, good looking people, and you're good looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you had a great week. Today is Beis Shvat, and today is actually the yahrzeit of Reb Zusha Manipul, a very famous chassid that we talk about all the time, and we'll bring him back towards the end of the Hayom Yom. What the Hayom Yom today is talking about, it's more of an informative Hayom Yom. But the Rebbe Rashab would share a mimer every 3 years, and the same mimer, the exact same way every 3 years, almost verbatim. But the concept of today was not only was the Rebbe Rashab sharing this mimer, but we've talked about in the past, it's not just what's being said, but it's also who's saying it and what's being done through the message. That the Rebbeim would say certain pieces of Chassidus, different Maimarim, different things, in order to purify the atmosphere, in order to clean up the world, to make it a better place. And that's what today is talking about. Moshe Rabbeinu used to talk to the Jewish people multiple times on the same subject, over and over again, whatever it took to encourage the Jewish people. Also later on in Parshas Devarim, which is in a couple months down the road, we see that Moshe Rabbeinu also gave Musar to the Jewish people in the beginning of Devarim, explaining what they did wrong and what they could have done better. And the same thing is going on in today's Hayom Yom. There was a specific mimer, and we'll talk about it. And there was also something called the more frum mimer. So we'll relate to that as well, and then we'll go to the message of the day. So for the Beis Shvat, it says here, my revered father, the Rebbe Rashab, once related, the mimer beginning Va'era Ushmi Adai Shem, not the one that appears in Torah Or. So that's a different mimer, which explains that no Jew ultimately will remain estranged from Hashem, came to be known as Der Frumer Va'era. So this particular mimer, which talks about how every Jew eventually will connect with God because they have that piece of God within them, also was later known as the more Frum Va'era. And the Alter Rebbe would deliver it publicly every 3 years, repeating it each time almost verbatim. Nevertheless, the Tzemach Tzedek said, every time there was a new light, on this my father commented that light, which is or, is always the same. A luminary, which is a ma'or, is always like something new. So, coming back to Reb Zusha Manipul, whose yahrzeit it is today, he wrote a piece for the Tanya on the first page, endorsing the Tanya. And he uses the word, I hope I say it right, especularia, which means a luminant lens, that he brings everything with a sharp focus. That when the Alter Rebbe wrote the Tanya, he brought all the subjects to focus, to sharpness, things that were not very clear. Everything came to the surface. It became very clear. Like it says here, a mar or a light. And being that it's the second day of Shvat, which is also the yahrzeit of Reb Zusha Manipul, that's why at the end it also brings up the word ma'or. And at the end of this Hayom Yom, which I know is more informative, but the idea is that the Rebbeim, very holy, had Ruach HaKodesh, and their job was not only to teach, but also they were looking to purify the atmosphere. Many Rebbeim had different mimers that they would say at certain times to do that. And it's the same thing that we all have to be cognizant that sometimes it's not only hearing the Dvar Torah or hear what we're doing, it's also who it's coming from, the message. When you're reading a Sikha knowing that it's coming from the Rebbe, or reading a mimer knowing that it's coming from the Tzemach Tzedek, it's not just the message, but also who it's being delivered from. Have a wonderful day, have a great Shabbos, and we'll talk more on Sunday. All the best.